Absolutely.
Well, here's another topic that we can discuss about whether it's a private or a public matter. Starting today, kids in Oregon can be sent home from school if they're not up to date with their immunizations or if they don't have proof of an exemption. And it's those exemptions that are sparking debate as measles continues to spread across the country. The Oregon legislature is now trying to eliminate the philosophical waivers, but the proposal would still allow for medical and religious exemptions. So, is it time for the federal government to step in? Or should these decisions be left up to the states? Well, you've got some kids, and I know you were just talking about those pictures of measles and little babies.
Yeah, it's, you know what, it's hard to look at the sick little ones, and I've spoken on this before. I mean, I think that there's a way to get everybody to the table, and I think that's what these lawmakers need to be doing. Do we need big government to tell people to have shots? Don't we already have that? Like, if you've traveled to a foreign country, you have a checklist so that you don't get sick when you go there. I mean, we know in public schools that there's certain things that the kids need to be immunized for. But my big thing, and things that I've talked with doctors, experts about, is do we really need 35 shots before they're 36 months?
Yes.
Can we prioritize these? Can we put on the list the things that we've knocked out? Polio, measles, can we put those on a short list and have real conversations with those parents who have exceptions and try to meet them in the middle so that we can create that herd immunity of about 90% of the population? Can we get there without the government standing in and stamping it on our hands?
That's right, and I think that's what people are afraid of, right? I mean, I think most people will go, measles, yeah, we should probably have the measles shot. But I think they're afraid of opening that door, and what else? We saw the government before with the HPV virus and other shots, that they could make those mandatory.
Right, but the problem is herd immunity doesn't work, as you're pointing out, unless the herd is immunized. And
well, only 90% of it, though.
I think it's got to be closer to 95, 96 for what I've been reading.
The doctors say 90, but
well, I don't believe in doctors. But no, look,
don't let those facts scare you.
I would prefer. I trust my. Look.
You like your opinion?
I do.
Absolutely. I like your tie.
Thank you. I don't have kids, but I won't vaccinate them, because they're not real. If I had real kids, I would 100% vaccinate them.
You do stay up late.
I do, I know.
Mr. Red Eye Man.
If you're not sure if your kid should be vaccinated, I say take a look at the fact that it's a bunch of Hollywood people who are saying they shouldn't be, and realize that you should do the opposite of.
Oh, I thought it was just a bunch of crazy right-wingers.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we cleared that up. The media is reporting otherwise.
But, Andrea, I mean, you bring up a good point about, you know, not just should you have it, but in my case, with my kids, my concern was when. I had a baby 9-10 months ago, and I didn't want to give her shots as soon as she was born. So I think there's lots of things. It's timing.
And I went through that,
It's
too.
what?
It's that Harris makes, I think, the best point. And it's something that, you know, I know that my mom feels strongly about this. My younger brother was autistic. And the proximity of the vaccinations. Do they need, as Harris said, all of these shots on their teeny tiny little immune system in that compressed amount of time? And we actually had Dr. Manny here, and we asked why, on Outnumbered, why? And his answer was, one of the big reasons was cost. It's more cost-effective for the doctor and the parent. And I thought, cost, but if you're a parent and you want to try and do everything to protect your child, you would pay any amount of money. I mean, it just seemed to me that I would pay more money to have the shots spaced out and have more doctor visits and push to have something like that. And if that's the case, and I'm not a doctor, but if that's the case, Rachel, then parents should definitely explore that option.
Right. Don't you think that, you know, these people like Hillary Clinton, I mean, by the way, she hasn't sent a tweet out on ISIS, but she has sent one out on vaccines. And it seems like a lot of these big government supporters, when it comes to vaccines, are, you know, these are the same people that are all for choice on all kinds of other things, but not on timing, not on which vaccines.
Right. I think you have to also preserve the religious exemption and some of these medical exemptions. I mean, there may be some reasons that someone may not be able to have a byproduct that exists in that vaccine. I know a lot of people who can't take flu shots for whatever reason. So you have to be able to preserve that. You have to leave some of this to the states, and you have to leave it with the parents. There has to be a way. I think you're 100% right. For parents, if you're going to stand up for parental rights, then you have to stand up for the rights of those parents to determine what's best for their kids. And this is a big part of that. So I respect these parents that are taking issue with the way the state government and the federal government potentially could mandate that they take care of their children.
Yeah, but vaccinate your kids.
You know, what's interesting, though, is that it's going to mean that people are going to have to communicate at high levels in order for that to happen. Because the 10% that is less, that can still build herd immunity.
Yes.
You don't need 100, you need 90. It should leave some space for all those people.
Right.
You should have about 10% of playroom, but that means these agencies have to talk to each other.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of safety, the TSA is getting set to roll out its latest tool in the fight against terror. The brand new scanner made right here in the USA that's said to detect not only baggage contents, but emerging threats like homemade bombs. Plus, A-Rod hoping to turn the page on his role in a massive doping scandal, issuing a handwritten apology to baseball fans, but turning down a news conference. So is it a little too late?